So I'm fresh out of watching the latest addition to Universal's monster lineup, Wolfman, and let's talk about it. Directed by Leigh Whannell, the mastermind banned films and franchises such as Saw, Insidious, Invisible Man, Upgrade, and most recently Wolfman, my man is no stranger to horror. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I went into this movie with a lot of baggage, like a lot. After last year's Werewolves, that left a bad taste in my mouth. If you don't know about the movie I'm talking about, trust me, you're the lucky one here, because that movie is not good. I mean, that movie was so bad that after watching it, I thought we would not get a good werewolf movie for a while. Then fast forward a couple of weeks later, we get Wolfman. First of all, let's give credit where credit is due. Leigh Whannell, this man knows how to do horror. If you've seen his movies like Insidious and most recently Invisible Man, and by recently I mean 5 years ago, you know that this man can use tension to keep you at the edge of your seat. Then with movies like Upgrade, he showed us that he has a knack for visceral, action-heavy storytelling, and it just feels like Wolfman is the perfect marriage between those two styles. The style in Wolfman is brutal, intense, terrifying, but also very, and I mean this, very emotionally driven, which I absolutely loved. Like, in all honesty, it just feels like Universal and Blumhouse gave Leigh Whannell the keys to do whatever he wanted, and trust me, it came out perfect. Like, this wasn't your average monster movie, no, this was a slow exploration to humanity slowly slipping away, and Leigh Whannell just executed that perfectly. Like, you could feel the fingerprints of something bigger in this movie, and you know what, maybe, and I mean this, just maybe, Universal might let Leigh Whannell do their Monsterverse right this time. But let's forget about that for now and actually talk about the movie. So the movie follows Blake and his family as they deal with the recent passing of his father. While traveling to Blake's childhood home to sort some things out, they get into a terrible car accident and are instantly attacked by an unidentified creature. They barely manage to escape to Blake's old home, where now they're stalked by a werewolf. To make matters worse, it is discovered that Blake was actually infected by the werewolf, and we watch this man slowly turn into a monster, which I absolutely loved. Apart from being stalked by an apex predator, the main focus of this movie is about a father who is slowly losing himself, and we see him struggling to hold on to his humanity while his body and mind betray him. The hook of this movie is about the slow descent into madness and one man's journey into becoming a werewolf. Like, one thing I truly enjoyed about this movie is that we got to see the whole descent into madness and turning into a werewolf from my man's perspective, which was truly speaking genius. Cause that one significant element finally answered the age-old question: if I was turning into a werewolf or anything monstrous, would I still be able to maintain my humanity? And the answer is no. From not understanding his family when they speak to no longer recognizing them, this showed what the experience of actually turning into a monster would be like from the monster's perspective. Like, the POV shots were truly speaking, and I mean this, chef's kiss. I will say the transformation itself was kind of the highlight for me. It wasn't one of those quick CGI heavy poof I'm a werewolf now, but it was actually a slow burn. We watched this man slowly turn into a monster, and for the mere fact that they used a lot of practical effects, I actually appreciated that, because I feel like we rely a lot on CGI nowadays. But I have to say the final transformation was truly speaking the best part. We got to see every bone snap, every tear of flesh. It was brutal, raw, and trust me when I say I absolutely loved it. The only critique I have is that I wish it was actually longer, but hey. But while we're on the topic of the final transformation, I have to say Universal fumbled the bag. Cause dropping a clip of the transformation on YouTube before the movie even hit theaters was truly speaking a dumb decision. Like, how are you going to spoil the best part of the movie before the movie even comes out? Like, that just shows how much little faith they had in this movie, and the worst part is, the movie was actually good. This movie was in every sense of the word good, but like every good movie, it is not perfect. I will say the story of the film is pretty straightforward, a bit too straightforward, which some people might not like, but regardless, it does what it needs to do. Some plot reveals in the movie were kind of meh, cause you could see them coming from a mile away, and I must say, not making the Wolfman into a traditional werewolf was kind of a gamble, but that's the point of the movie. It's a modern take on a classic monster. This wasn't a story of a man turning into a werewolf, but a story of a father and a husband slowly losing himself and becoming a monster, which I absolutely loved. You know, I have to say this movie does actually feel like the start to something bigger. Cause if Universal really is giving Leigh Whannell the keys to their Monsterverse, this could actually become something great. His whole approach to the classical monster but giving it a modern take is actually a great idea, and truly speaking, if that is the case, I'm in. But what do you guys think? Do you enjoy the Wolfman as much as I did? Is Universal Pictures actually giving Leigh Whannell the keys to the Monsterverse? Let me know in the comments, and while you're down there, please, for me, like this video, subscribe to the page, hit that notification bell to stay in tune, and I will catch you later.